Whenever you are ready. Let's see. I believe it looks like we do have quorum, so I'll go ahead and start with roll call here. Al Wyruth. See him yet? Bruce Burke. Bruce Burke.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. Cynthia Harper Ayala.
Here.
Thank you. Dale Calvert.
Here.
Thank you. Leanne Hernandez. Don't see them yet. Elizabeth Soltero.
Here.
Thank you. Ian Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. Jesse Lugo.
Here.
Thank you. Nathan Kapler. No. Ned Beeman.
Here.
Thank
Ned's
you.
here.
Okay, we have 7 present, so we do have quorum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And have people had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? And if you want to take a couple minutes to do so, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve or change.
Move to approve, Beeman.
Okay, Ned's made a motion.
I'll second.
Who said second? Was that Bruce?
Bruce Burke.
Okay. Bruce is seconded. All those in favor of approving the minutes signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously.
Dale,
Yes.
I actually have to do a roll call vote. So I will have to do a roll call again for, with the new virtual meetings. That's what we have to do.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I forgot that. You told us that recently. So, okay, let's do a roll call vote then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let's see. Al Wyruth. Even if he was present, no, okay.
No.
Bruce Burke,
Yes.
thank you. Cindy Ayala,
Yes.
thank you. Dale Calvert,
Yes.
Dale Kapler here. Oh, that was Dale Calvert.
thank you. Leanne Hernandez, not present, okay. Liz Soltero,
Yes.
thank you. Ian Johnson,
Yes.
thank you. Jesse Lugo,
Yes.
thank you. Nathan Kapler,
Yes, I'm here.
okay, we're actually approving the minutes. Are you for or against?
I am for approving it.
Thank you. And Ned Beeman,
Yes.
thank you. So we do have a unanimous approval, Dale.
Okay, thank you.
Dale,
Yes.
Mike Graham here. Do you need me to go over any housekeeping items? I typically do that at the start of the meeting, but I'm going to leave that up to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so to ensure that the meeting runs smoothly, a couple things that I want to go over is please stay muted. Keep your microphones muted during the meeting unless you're called on to speak. And then once you speak, then you can go ahead and mute yourself. You can post questions or comments in the chat box, and the chat box is around like a little quote box looking thing, and you can and post questions and comments in the chat box. Christina actually put the sign-in sheet for the meeting into the chat box. So if you want to go ahead and electronically sign in, you can do that as well into the chat box. We will have a call to the audience. And at that point, any members of the public will have an opportunity to speak. I'm not sure if we have anybody on tonight for call to the audience. The other items that I want to discuss are that Diana Alarcon has another meeting that she has to go to. So our director will be with us for just the first 30 minutes of the meeting. And I think that's it. Anything else? Any questions?
Hearing none, thank you.
Yep.
Call to the audience. Do we have any members of the public? This is time for public to comment. You can do a You can do a comment of up to 2 minutes if you're interested. Do I hear anybody who's out there who would like to speak? Hearing no response, I'll move on to item 4 on the agenda. And that's on the PaveTech roadway treatment pilot project presentation. I assume that's why Diana's probably staying for this part of the meeting.
Well,
just a
Paul,
little bit of it. I think I'm actually going to turn it over to Paul Rosenblum.
yes.
He is actually going to be sharing with y'all our initiative with Cool Pavement and discuss that with you. So it is with my pleasure that I get to introduce Paul Rosenblum, who is our Sustainable Program Coordinator. So Paul, if you want to, you can take over and share your screen with the committee and with the commission, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Diana. Yes, my name's Paul Rosenblum, and I'm with DTM, and I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the department. And I wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to show you the presentation for the roadway treatment. I will share my screen if that's okay with you guys.
Yes, please.
Okay, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can, Paul.
All right, thank you. Again, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to present to you guys. This is a roadway treatment that we would like to introduce to the Bond Oversight Committee. This would be a pilot project that we would like to do this year, if not this year, the following year. The product is Plus TI from Pavement Technology Incorporated, and it is the Cool Pavements application that Tucson staff currently favors. PTI has been in the pavement preservation industry since 1972 and developed this technology over the last 5 years. Tucson, or actually Arizona, just has 2 different kinds of weather. We have hot and a little less hot. As you can tell, it's been we're in a climate emergency right now. Last year we had records for the driest years ever, and also some of the warmest years as well. So this product would also help reduce some of the heat island effects. This is just climate change heat island effects. You can see the heat coming up off the roadway. Meanwhile, in Arizona, you can see the ice cream truck melting. Just showing how the heat comes off of the roadways, off of buildings, off of concrete. Using, to reduce these heat island effects, using nanoparticles of titanium dioxide increases the solar reflective index, refracts the UV radiation responsible from heating pavements. So you could see in rural areas, you have more of the trees and it's a lot cooler in these areas, where in the cities you have upwards to 3 to 10 degrees difference because of all the pavement and asphalt and concrete in buildings. Advantages of Plus TI, Some of the advantages are combines melatonin replacements, technology, and photocatalysis, increases SRI of the asphalt and concrete up to 450%, qualifies for USGBC LEED V4 heat island reduction, neutralizes up to 60% of NOx emissions, fiscally responsible for, it's about $2 a square yard to apply this. Speed applications, 4 miles per day. Quick return of traffic, that's important, that we're able to get traffic back on the roadway right away, not having the roadway closed for very long. There's no need for restriping this product. Like in a typical fog seal, you would have to restripe afterwards. Hydrophilic decrease water contact, oxidizes all organic compounds. This is a pilot project that Orlando, Florida did. As you can see, they upgraded some of their asphalt and concrete surfaces in the downtown Orlando to fully photocatalysts. They did approximately 2.2 square miles. They leveraged UCF AQ monitoring project, environmental equivalent to planning like a 1,700 acre tree forest right in the downtown area. That's what it'd be equivalent to. Orlando has been working with PTI since 1985 and completed their first Plus TI project in 2018. They now are working on phase 1 plan to treat all their roadways and sidewalks in the 2.25 square mile section, encompassing 3 socially disadvantaged neighborhoods near the downtown. These neighborhoods have some of the worst air quality in the state. This is the mitigation of the pollutions and reduction in pavement preservation. Cary, North Carolina, in the GCCA CPR and completed their first cool pavement pilot project in 2020. They are currently bidding out this year's contract for Plus TI as part of their asphalt rejuvenation annual bid. The control sample from last year tested at 5 SRI, while treated samples produced SRI in the mid to high 30s. Planned outcomes of utilizing this product: preservation, protection, and beautification of pavements, 10 to 15 degree reduction of roadway surface temperatures, reduced summertime peak energy demand, air quality improvements, up to 60% NOx reductions. This temperature change here is from the Orlando International Airport, where Plus TI utilized the product. You can see where it was applied. It's cooler, and where it wasn't applied, there's a higher heat index in this place. And also, after the treatment with the asphalt at Orlando Airport, it killed the mold and mildew that commonly occurs in Florida. This also translated to a significant temperature reduction as seen in the FLIR. Some of the planned outcomes: utilizing continued cooling of the ambient air can help prevent heat-related illnesses and death, mitigate air pollution, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, NOx, and water quality depletion driven by heat islands, preserve asphalt pavements, reducing life cycle cost and user delays by increasing binder life, save energy needed to cool surrounding structures, houses, buildings, energy demand, stormwater management, and reduced runoff temperatures through cooler pavements. Based on research and the experience of other pilot cities, Charlotte. Are you guys hearing me?
Did you
Yes,
just
but
say
we're getting
something,
some
Paul? 'Cause you have a-
feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. Is everybody muted other than the speaker? You can go
Okay,
ahead
yeah.
with your presentation. Thanks.
Okay. So based on the research and experience of other pilot cities, Charlotte, Raleigh, Cary, Orlando, Delray Beach, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio, Charleston County, and Greensville, South Carolina, these are the outcomes Tucson will experience. So as you can see in the picture on this diagram here, there's the emissions that come out of the vehicles. The pavement actually works to mitigate these NOx emissions. This is a world-class team. They've partnered with other organizations. We plan on partnering with the University of Arizona to help us do all the technical research on it to compare temperatures, reductions in NOx. There will be a bunch of different of research that will be done. This is close to the same thing that was done in Phoenix. They had a Cool Seal product that they utilized up there, and they partnered with the ASU to do all their technical data gathering, and they're still in the process of doing that. So this pilot program, the cost of the proposed plus TI pilot would depend on the selection of the application candidate road and supplying this information to PTI. They anticipate then being able to provide accurate pricing. They have crews based in Cleveland, Ohio, and Tampa, Florida now, and are working with the city of Phoenix and the city of Tempe to put together pilots in their cities to lower the mobilization costs for all three agencies. So considering if we were to partner at the same time frames that the other municipalities within Arizona, we could reduce some of the costs for the mobilization. That's the presentation that I was gonna go over with you guys this evening.
Okay, do we have any questions? Anybody have?
This is Al.
Yes, Al, go ahead.
Can you hear me? This is Al.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, and I apologize. I think it was me that did that feedback. I had the wrong phone number I used, and I was listening. I do have a question for the gentleman. According to your the one slide that reduces the heat island effect, you're saying that each 0.10 SR lowers the temperature. So on your testing, and I wrote it in a little question on the chat room, how many thicknesses are you considering testing? And also, where in the city are you planning on doing this with the city, with the U of A and the city? I'll go to mute now.
Okay, thank you.
So we're still in the planning process of choosing the site. One of the areas that we're looking at is on the far northwest side. We're also looking at a site potentially that we could go Midtown. So, and then your second part of your question is how thick the coating was going down? Did I understand you right on that?
Yeah.
I will have to get back with you on that that question that you have. I do not have that answer at this time.
So, Paul, if I can also jump in here, one of the reasons that we are bringing this before the commission is that there is an opportunity to look at some of the upcoming fog seal projects that we have as part of Prop 101, and then partnering with the coalition who's willing to give us some dollars to help advance this pilot forward. Because the coating is a little bit more expensive than a typical fog seal. So the coalition that Paul has actually partnered with for the city is willing to give us some grant dollars to be able to afford it. So what we're looking at and considering is one of the roads that might be forthcoming in one of the upcoming Prop 101 packages. And it is one of the things that we have to take in consideration is you don't put it on high volumes. They pretty much go on some local streets or maybe a very local collector that doesn't have a high number of volume because we really want to be able to measure and monitor it. But that's one of the reasons why we're bringing this before. It'll give us a chance to really test it, see the results in partnership with the U of A, understand what the effects are here as far as reducing that heat island. And then with that information, we would be able to make a decision of how we would want to advance forward with this type of product or application. So that's the reason why we're actually bringing it before the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Did anybody else have any other questions?
Dale, Leanne has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Leanne.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Just to clarify, I noticed that the slides were coming from Florida. I just wanted to clarify that I didn't miss. Has it been tested at all in the state of Arizona?
It has not been tested in Arizona at this time yet. So that's one of the main reasons that we're wanting to try it. We want to be at the front of the technology as it comes out. That's why we're trying to work with Phoenix as far as partnering to get mobilizing the company to come out here.
Okay, thank you so much. That's great. I appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Dale, I have a question. This is Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Thank you. Diane, I heard you say that you are thinking about making one of the proposed streets that we would address a part of this test, and I would suggest that that would be something we'd want to hear from you about and a proposal. Is that your intention?
Yes, sir, it is. We wanted to bring the product forward, this opportunity, and then we would actually be scoping out some locations that we would be considering that would meet the criteria, and then we'd bring that back before the board. But if there was no interest in that, then we would move away from this. But we feel there is some really strong value that has come out of it based on the information that we have received so far. And though this will be a new standard that we're doing here in Arizona, there is a very strong interest, between us and Phoenix to partner so that we can actually have, a reduction in price based on volume. Because if they can come out here and do it just once and cover everybody, then we save some money. So we feel there's some value in that partnership. And also, again, working through the coalition, because this product is a little bit more expensive than a typical fog seal, they're willing to throw some dollars in, so it's not necessarily an uptick to our price, to our pocketbook. So we feel like this is a really good opportunity in partnership.
Well, Mr. Chairman, given the comments from Ms. Alarcon, if it's appropriate, I'd make a motion for us to proceed.
Bruce, can we hold that for a second?
Yes.
Another request to speak, so. Ian, did you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. The idea is that this is like a replacement for the standard fog seal, so this would be used on on roads that are just repaved? I mean, obviously this wouldn't really work for the vast majority of our existing roads, right?
Correct. Well, that's a hard one to say. I don't have quite an answer for that, but they are recommending that the roads be at a certain level of OCI, and that level of OCI is not going to meet the condition of a lot of our local roads.
Right.
And we just felt like this would be a really good opportunity to partner with some of the upcoming fog sealing that we're going to do on the local roads. And again, because the coalition's willing to put in and ante up some dollars to make this happen so we can do this test, it just broadens the market and opportunities as we move forward. I'd like to test it first, going through what has been recommended and learn a little bit more about the product, test it and make sure it gets the impact and the results of reducing the heat island effect, which is what we're going for. And if we get all of that out of it, then I think we can talk about how we can maybe push the envelope. But this product is more expensive than a fog seal. So we really want to make sure it works, and we want to put it in an environment where it's going to have the best opportunity of being successful.
Thank you.
Do I have any other questions? Nathan?
Yeah, thank you. Order of magnitude, how much more does it cost than the traditional fog seal? Is it twice as much, 20% more, 4 times as much?
Right now, they're saying that if we partner with Phoenix and some of the other local municipalities to minimize the mobilization, it could run about $2 a square yard.
More.
So one of the good reductions too on this is, as I stated, you don't have to restripe the roadway because it goes on looking yellowish, but then it dries clear. So therefore, you don't have to restripe it.
Thank you. And $2 a square yard additional to the cost that we have for fog seal. How many dollars per yard is fog sealing?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't have that latest number. Can I bring that back to the commission at the next meeting? I apologize. I don't have the latest numbers off the top of my head. So, hey,
Well, just
Austin or Sarah, are you on? Hold on 1 second. I think Austin and Sarah are also here. Do y'all happen to know what the current, with the last budget, with the last package reflected in cost for the fog sealing per square yard?
Cal, do you know? If not, I can pull it up and I can get it to you guys today.
Here.
I apologize. I don't have that number in front of me. Paul, do you know it? If not, Austin will look for it. Austin, can you get that number in the last package for the board's consideration?
Yep, you got it.
Kind of what I understood was it was running somewhere close to like $2 a square yard, but that included all traffic control, crack sealing, and so on and so forth. That number, I can't guarantee that it's right, so it'd be best to wait for Austin or somebody to get you an accurate number.
Thanks. I'm just looking for rough order of magnitude. Is this twice as expensive as what we're doing now?
No, when I will tell you, when we ran the numbers, excuse me for jumping in, I'm sorry. And we were looking at it at one time, I would have to say it was about a 20% up price. It was not a 50%. It was about 20% more than what the cost was for us to run a regular fog seal project. But we can get you the square yardage amount.
Yeah, that's really what I'm interested in. It's a 20% surcharge, but look at the benefit that we might get. I'm all for doing a test, especially with the influx of dollars for the test. If it works out, it might be a really good thing to do.
We think so too. That's why we were really excited about this opportunity and getting out there and testing it. And the fact that we're able to partner with the coalition and they're willing to bring some dollars really is kind of helping us to keep this, cost effective. And then that way we can actually manage it and find the results. And if the results are everything that they're showing in the other places in the United States, it would well be worth the investment to help with the heat issues we're having, the heat island effects we're having, especially in our most vulnerable communities.
I can envision another column in all of your spreadsheets, average daily temperature before and after.
One I'll gladly share. I saw that Austin raised his hand.
Yep. So the
Yep.
last package that we had was $2.08 a square yard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bruce, do you want to go ahead with a motion?
Yes, thank you, Dale. Given the discussion and the apparent interest, I would make a motion to the effect that we request staff to come back with a concrete proposal, including cost estimates for our consideration at the next meeting.
I second it.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, seeing no hands. Do we have to do a roll call on this, or do we?
Yes, we do a
Yes.
roll call vote. Mhm.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the roll call vote then.
Okay. Al Wyruth,
Yes.
thank you. Bruce Burke,
Yes,
thank you. Cindy Ayala,
Yes.
thank you. Dale Calvert,
Yes.
thank you. Leanne Hernandez,
Yes.
thank you. Liz Soltero,
Yes.
thank you. Ian Johnson,
Yes.
thank you. Jesse Lugo, Jesse Lugo. Okay, I think we lost him. Nathan Kepler,
Yes.
thank you. And Ned Beeman,
Yes.
thank you. So we do have a unanimous approval to bring that back to the committee.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing y'all at the next council meeting with some more information. Thank y'all.
Okay. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Paul. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. With that done, I guess we move on to item 5, financial reports. Jeffrey.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeffrey Whiting, and I am the Tucson Delivers Program Manager. I'll be taking you through the financial update for the bond oversight portion of the Tucson Delivers program. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please let me know if you can see that.
I guess if I unmute, we can. Thanks.
Outstanding. Thank you. So first and foremost, I like to point out that as of the beginning of April, end of March, the Tucson Delivers tax has brought in $87,493,992. That's split up between local streets at $34,986,531 and arterials $52,507,479. And that is, as I had stated, program to date. So since we began, we have encumbered we have spent $32,370,006, and we've encumbered $5,050,502 for a grand total of $37,420,508. Now, when we originally put together the program, we had anticipated that we would collect about $100 million. If you take the 37.4 million that these two numbers add up to and subtract it away from this originally projected 100 million, we would have about $62.5 million left. However, I am pleased to report that we are continuing to trend ahead of our originally anticipated revenues. The blue line is where we're at as of today. The greenish triangular line is where we had originally projected to be. So really the story is this distance in the middle here where we're continuing to trend ahead. If that trend continues and holds through to the end of the program, this number right here is $122,948,920. So about 23 million more than we had originally anticipated in this 100 million. That actually segues well to our package updates. The first one you'll see here is our arterial roads. And really what I would like to call your attention to is these numbers here. We had originally budgeted $59,094,293 for to get these 13 packages done. Our current and most updated projected numbers is that once we see all of these packages through to fruition, we will have spent $59,098,729, which means we would blow our budget by a whopping $4,435. Taking and applying the same logic to our local streets, we had originally budgeted $40,148,518 to complete these 8 packages. Our latest numbers for projections show that we are projecting total costs of $36,401,353, which actually has us coming in under budget by $3,747,165. So that kind of goes on top of the 23-ish million that we're projecting our revenues to be over. With that being said, that kind of highlights the financials for the Tucson Delivers program. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have before I turn it over for specific project updates. Does anybody have any?
This is Al.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Al. I have a question. In the package that you sent us, we got a it says Prop 101 Aerial Rehab. It says that package 13 segment has been removed due to conflict of a 30-inch water main. And so I'm just curious, I can see that, you know, it looks like we've spent, what, $146,000, or, I mean, is that those figures gonna change in your packaging?
So I think that is something that Sarah will be able to speak a little bit more in depth to, and she'll be able to provide you a little bit more details with regards to exactly what is included in the projected amounts and what isn't included in the projected amounts.
Okay, I was just curious because I had seen the, you know,
Yes,
the
sir.
writing versus that, and it sounded like that Tucson Water was taking over most of the pavement work also because they're apparently replacing their water main.
Al, this is Dale. We've talked about this before with them, and I assume you weren't around, but yeah, Sarah will be able to give us a better update. But it's become a joint project, and so that the city can do work all at one time. So, we'll leave it for Sarah. So
Yes, I'll just.
That sounds good.
Sarah's going to go ahead,
Yeah.
Sarah.
I'll just go ahead and speak to that now, Al, that this project, or this package 13, is very similar to package 12, where we are doing a cost sharing agreement with Tucson Water. So they are paying, we have a separate account for the water modification design, and for both package 12 and package 13, and for construction, once we receive once we have bid opening and receive the bid tabs and have a low bidder, an apparent low bidder, we will execute a cost sharing agreement with Tucson Water. So we have, for package 12, which is Silver Bell, we have 2 separate cost estimates, engineers estimates. So we are tracking the costs separately, and Tucson Water will be paying for all of the items associated with the water modification work.
Okay, Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Any other questions? I'm not hearing any. Jeffrey, I guess we can move on to, do you want to move on to Sarah and let her do the,
Certainly.
The arterials, et cetera? So I guess the floor is yours, Sarah.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Chair and commission members and everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to share the agenda. Sorry. Well, okay, so you all have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Erica?
Yes. Do you need me to share the agenda or your?
Yeah. I have the the package 4 schedule up, but not the agenda. If you could just share the agenda, that would be great.
Okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and get started while she's pulling it up, but there we go. And some of this is just a recap of what you've seen before. Package 1 included Star Pass, La Choya, segments of Star Pass, La Choya, Congress, Speedway.
Sarah, just a second.
Oh, sure.
I think we got the meeting agenda, not the schedule of the projects.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I can pull it up. Hold on.
Okay.
It's in my sent.
Yep.
Bear with me. Here we go.
Sarah, is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, I got it. I just pulled it up. So thank you. Okay, let me just. There. Okay, everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll just recap the completed projects. You've seen those before. Package 1 includes those segments of Star Pass, La Choya, Congress, Speedway, and St. Mary's. And construction was completed in July 2019. Package 2 included segments of Roger, River, and Runway, and construction was completed in January 2020. Package 3 is a fog seal, and that was completed in November 2020. There was a gap of between June and mid-October that the contractor was Southern Arizona Paving, and they had to suspend work due to the extreme heat last summer, but that was completed. Package 4 includes segments of Los Reales. We'll go in order. 6th Avenue was constructed first. Los Reales will be next, and Main and Granada. The contract was awarded to Borderland. The work on 6th Avenue was completed in March. Correction, and I have the schedule, which I will pull up. It was actually completed in February 26th. And so in March, they just finished, completed some utility adjustments. But it was reopened to traffic back in February. So let me just pull up the schedule. Okay, can you see the schedule? So Los Reales had been originally scheduled to start on April 5th, but that has been pushed back, and that is because we are in the process of executing an MOU, a Memorandum of Agreement with the Tohono O'odham Nation, because the south side of the road is in the nation. So once that is executed, we will start work on Los Reales. And looking at the schedule, the work is scheduled to take 3 months to complete. Main and Granada avenues, we do not have a construction start date at this time, but it is depending on the road closures for the Downtown Links project. So we do not want to have Granada shut down to reduced to 1 lane while we have other lane restrictions in place. So we are looking at July. We are anticipating it to be July when we will start work on Main / Granada. But we are certainly coordinating with the Downtown Links project, and Borderland is partnered with Granite Construction on that project. So the original completion date for package 4 was September 1st, but that was based on the schedule showing start of construction on Los Reales on April 5th. So of course that's going to be pushed back. So we will have an updated schedule at the next meeting. Okay, so back to this. Also on Los Reales, we are going to be doing partnering. We're doing a sustainability initiative. We are partnering with Ecological Materials Corporation, and we'll be using their binder product, which has been meets the city spec, and it's currently in the testing certification process. And what it is, it's a partnership that the City of Tucson Mayor Romero's office is involved in, as well as the governor's office, and it's to use recycled plastic for the binder material. So this will be just for the TDOT mix number 2. So just the top layer of asphalt would include this binder material that uses recycled plastic from Bash's plastic bags. So so we will be doing that as part of our sustainability initiative. Okay, moving on. Oh, let me reopen that again. Package 5 we have talked about. That is 5th Street. That's a pavement reconstruction on 5th from Country Club to Wilmont, but it's the scope has been expanded and now includes replacement of a water main. Also the Prop 407 5th/6th Street pedestrian safety and walkability project, as well as the road diet or the road right sizing component. So because in particular of the road diet component, extensive public engagement will be required as part of the design process. So Ryan Fagan in our planning division is taking the lead on the project through this phase. Fog seals, we have 3 projects that are ready to, that I'm preparing to go to bid advertise, preparing to submit to procurement, and that includes package 6, which is a fog seal package. Package 7 includes Wilmot, Fort Lowell, Glen, and Grant. And package 12, we are just finalizing the striping modifications that the existing configuration, striping configuration on Silver Bell in the Anglem area it's currently unsafe. I am working with the consultant and traffic engineering to modify, to develop a safer configuration. And then that's all that's remaining. And then that one will also be going to, will bid advertise. Package 8 is in design. It's moving along. The 90% design submittal is scheduled for late April, in just a couple of weeks. Package 9 is another fog seal. We have not started work on that just yet. Package 10, that includes the streets you can see listed here, with the exception of Church. That is being designed as a separate project and will be a complete street project. And the consultant is currently preparing their scope and fee proposal, and we will enter contract negotiations to start design. Package 11 is another fog seal, and work has not been started on that one. I already covered package 12, so that is close to being ready to bid advertise, just pending finalization of the striping layout. And package 13, Al, you had asked about that. And Park was actually originally part of package 4, but due to the conflict with the water line conflicting with the road construction, the existing water line was too shallow for our new road pavement structural section. So
Sarah, sorry to interrupt, but there's a question in the audience.
Oh, sure, of course, yes.
Yeah, back up to package 7. You said that it's ready for bid advertisement. Can you refresh our memory about how long does it take for the bids to go out and come back?
It depends on the dollar amount, our engineer's estimate, but the minimum advertisement period is 3 weeks. But this will be, it'll be at least 4 weeks that it'll be on the street before we have bid opening. And so these 3, package 6, that's the fog seal, package 7, the road, pavement reconstruction and rehab, and package 12, Silver Bell. Those, I am expecting to get those out within the next few weeks. So by the end of May, hopefully sooner, hopefully, mid-May.
Okay, thank you.
But in the coming weeks, they will all be going to procurement and hitting the street.
Okay, thank you.
This is Al.
Sure. Yes.
Can I
Al.
ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Package 7, it has Wilmot and Glen and Grant. Can you tell me how far on Wilmot you're going? I mean, Wilmot's a pretty good street.
Oh, yes, of course. It's just I believe it's a half a mile. It's exactly a half a mile segment. It's just from Grant to Pima.
Okay, from Grant to Pima. Okay.
So just from
and then, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say from just where the Costco is, essentially, is Wilmot, the northern limits of Wilmot at Grant, and then down to where it tees into Pima.
Okay, so yeah, I know that section well. I've got a doctor over there, yes. And this is a fog, right?
No, Wilmot is I'd have to check if that's I believe that's a full reconstruct.
Okay, that's fine. It needs it. Trust
Yes.
me, it needs it.
Yes.
I have a question on package 8. Then, can you tell me on Camino Seco how far? That's a pretty good size road length. I was just
Yes.
curious about that.
That one, we are doing a 2-mile segment, which goes from Golf Links to Irvington.
Okay, Golf Links to Irvington.
Yeah, I believe that it's a
Okay.
2-mile segment. I believe those are the limits.
Okay, so that's going to be on the southern part of Golf Links and going down. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And then Sabino Canyon Road, as you can see listed there, it's that very short piece that's just north of Tanque Verde to connect, to tie into the county portion that was recently repaved.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
So that one is moving along in design. I think we're just about done. Yeah, package 13, that's the Park Avenue pavement reconstruct with the water mods, that we will be doing a cost sharing agreement with Tucson Water. And so that's it. That's in design fairly early, but we did, I believe this is actually FY23. We pushed it to the end of the program. So when we pulled it from package 4, we moved it to the end. So right now it's just currently the consultant is doing the water line analysis. So they will submit the report to Tucson Water.
This is Dale Calvert. Just as a question on the park water line, with that 30-inch water line, how much cover do you have to have between the pavement and the top of the line? Do you know?
I believe 2 feet.
Okay.
24 inches.
Yeah.
From top of pipe to bottom of structural section.
Okay. That just curiosity as a former operator of a water company. So.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for Sarah?
I had one. This is Leanne, Sarah.
Sure.
I'm just wondering on package 5, I believe you said there was going to be community engagement, and I had just placed in the chat that I wondered if you could share the community engagement strategy with us at some point, not tonight clearly, but in the future. I would really love to hear more about how that is undertaken.
Okay, absolutely. I can provide Ryan Fagan's contact info in the chat, and we will certainly be posting notifications on our website as to, virtual open houses or, events that are scheduled. So at this stage, we are just in negotiating the contract amendment with the consultant for the expanded scope. So because we have the design consultant for all of the Prop 101 arterial projects is Kimley Horn, and they actually have the contract for just the 5th Street pavement reconstruction portion. But now we're adding all of this additional scope. So we're in that process. But our planning division will be leading the effort of the public engagement portion.
Sarah, just to clarify, what you're saying is that you'll put the members of this committee on the mailing list, on the email list for the notifications. Is that what you're saying?
I was just saying it will be on the DTM website. We will post, the events, scheduled events. But we could do that. Letitia?
Yes, if you want to provide me any information, I can definitely distribute it to the commission members.
Okay, yes, I can coordinate with Ryan Fagan and make sure that you receive notification of the scheduled, planned public engagement events. We can certainly do that.
We would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, anything else for Sarah? Sarah, I think you got everything you need.
Okay.
We'll move on.
All right.
Thank you for all your input.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Austin, are you ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
It's
Thanks,
floor is
everybody.
yours.
I'm gonna share my screen real fast with website. Go ahead and let me know when you guys see it.
We
It's
see it.
there. We've got it.
Cool. So to start things off, the update that we provided you all with the updates on the packages, there was one package 4 on Friday afternoon, probably about 30 minutes after I hit send, was I received a call, and we're actually going to be able to bring the construction start date up to May. It had been pushed out to July, and we actually got word on Friday that we're going to bring that up to May, and we'll be done paving that project by early July. And for your guys' reference, that package is package 4, which is consists of 3 neighborhoods. I'm going to highlight them here. One's on the east side that's bound by Camino Seco, Speedway, and Broadway. In this area here, a relatively large area. And then the other 2 neighborhoods are on the west side. One's off of Ironwood Hill Drive, Hiawatha Hills. And then the other neighborhood is right next to Flowing Wells High School. And it's a few streets that kind of bound near. This is Flowing Wells High School. We have just a few streets there to pave and a little bit of concrete work. The other thing I wanted to update you all on was that we've reevaluated our concrete work. As you guys know, the language allowed us to bring the ramps into ADA compliance. And when we originally budgeted or set up the packages, we had selected high pedestrian access ways. And we've since re-looked at that method and decided to go back and do all concrete ramps where there is sidewalk within the neighborhoods. So we're going to go back to package 2 and complete about 120 ramp locations. The majority of them are in the Valencia neighborhood to the south, and then also in the neighborhoods off of Star Pass. We, as Jesus brought to you guys' attention last meeting, there was some work that's going to be done within that package for the paving due to some the out of spec materials. That work scheduled for May, so the contractor is going to come down at the time and perform this concrete work, and hopefully have it done by the end of June. Package 5, our contractor is still under contract. All paving is complete. They're working on lowering utilities in the national cities and Whitestone area. And this neighborhood also has an additional 142 ramps that we're going to modify and put back in place. And so the contractor just submitted this afternoon their cost proposal for it, so I have to review that and make sure that we're all on the same page. Moving forward, package 4, we also, being that they are just starting construction, we're able to go ahead and address the package 4 did not have as many ramps. The majority of the ramps were in this section between Broadway and Speedway off of Camino Seco, and we just had to pick up a few more ramps because we already pretty much were addressing all those with the original package. Package 6, see if I can just have package 6 highlighted. And so package 6 consists of a neighborhood off of Broadway and, sorry, and Country Club, and then Alvernon and Fifth. Those two neighborhoods, and then a street down off of, I can't see where it's at right now. There's one street off of Valencia, I believe, that's getting paid as part of that. And we're working on finalizing the package, again, making sure that we take into account all the ramp locations. And then we'll likely have that one out before the end of June. And 7 and 8 are going to follow basically right on the same. We're going to get them all out on the street at the same time because I think some of you may be aware of the aggressive planning that the county has with their paving operations, and we want to make sure that we don't have a repeat of what happened with package 4, where we kind of got lost in the shuffle of all the trucking and supply issues. So we're going to get our packages out on the street, and we're going to allow the contractors to make sure that they reserve our place in line so that we get this work done over the next year. And that's all I've got.
Do we have any questions for Adam?
This is Al. I have a question.
Sure.
On package 2, the notes you gave us, you said that the quality control had some problems in certain areas, and you've all come to some agreement. Is there going to be? Do you expect the pavement to fail faster in these areas, or will this master seal PMM take care of it, for one? And two, since this was done under Sunland, do they get penalized or anything by your procurement for any future businesses that says you got to be watching them closely? Just curious.
No, this was these were areas that we found. So one, the solution that we came to an agreement upon is something that's going to help extend the life of it, so that we don't have to, so that we can accept it. The penalty areas were on the cusp of being in spec, and a lot of that has to do with just the nature of paving on the native soils that we're doing with these packages. And throughout the project, we were working with the contractor, and we tried to get a final product that met the spec, but they were just outside of it. So as a partnering aspect, we allowed them to come back and say, instead of tearing everything out and starting fresh, we're putting down the PMM to help extend the life of that area. It's really more of a technicality. And then when it comes to the procurement, I mean, this is part of what our contracts are built to do. We have ways of penalizing the contractor for materials that don't meet our spec. There are provisions in them for them to come back with third party, and there's a whole laundry list of steps that we went through to kind of come to an agreement, so that one, we have a good product, and two, it's something that we can stand behind.
Thank you. It's
Yep.
good to see you back, Austin.
It's good to be back. I wish I could show you all my son. He's crying right now. I can hear him, but you probably can't. So I don't think I need to entertain you guys with that.
It's, I guess, better than the dogs.
Yeah, right.
Look forward to seeing pictures, Austin.
You got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody? Okay. We thank you, Adam. And we'll move on to Mike Graham and the citizen log.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. My camera's on. So Leticia sent out the package of updates on Friday, and you all received the citizen request log from that Christina narrowed down from our last meeting, which was February 8th. And according to my count, we've had 41 additional additions to the citizen request log since our last meeting. Not much more to add to that, but if anybody has any questions, then I will entertain those questions.
Okay. I read them over. I didn't have any questions. Let's see if anybody else has any.
Okay.
You hearing any questions? Doesn't sound like it, Mike. Sounds like it's going to be quick. So
Short and sweet.
short and sweet. Thank you, Mike.
Thank
Future
you.
meeting date and agenda items. Let's talk about future meeting. From a meeting standpoint, do we want to make it 3 months? I don't know. Do you have any input on this, Ian, about make it 3 months from now, or should we shoot for July?
I usually defer to the schedule that the city puts forward.
Okay.
I mean, if they've got things going on that we need to know about, like if the testing they're going to do, if that moves forward, or if they have information on the outreach that we had asked about, then we could always meet a little sooner, although it is summer.
Okay. Bruce.
You're muted, Bruce.
Yeah. Still muted, Bruce.
I missed the button. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. I have an agenda item which may influence our decision, and
Okay.
I bring it up because I listened to the presentation that Diana gave us at the last meeting. I unfortunately was unable to get in early enough to hear her presentation about the supplemental $14 million allocation that Mayor and Council has made for improving what I understand to be neighborhood streets. And as I listened to that presentation, which I realized was only an information item, it struck me as odd that that process didn't seem to include the Bond Oversight Commission and receiving recommendations for worst first improvements within the wards. So I'd like to agendize that issue for the next meeting. And I don't know whether that would influence the meeting date, but it seems to me that we need to be cautious and in fact, maybe recommend to Mayor and Council that the Bond Oversight Commission be included in that process so as to eliminate any undue ward politics influence on that process. And this is a board that's dealt with that in the past. I won't bore you with it, but that's my concern and my request for an agenda item.
Okay, we'll consider your agenda item and we can talk about it, but the question was asked of Diana about that. And the reality is that the council had decided that they wanted to decide the project specifically by ward. So Diana is supposed to be working on identifying the projects by ward. And as I understand, that was a council decision. Do you have any more input on that on Mike?
What was that, Dale?
Do you have any more input on what I just said?
No, but I will say that what has been occurring is that Diana and our pavement management group made up of Todd Kessler and John Norton, they have been meeting with the council members and their staff on on this issue and on the fact of selecting which neighborhoods to do. I mean, to Bruce's point, I could agendize an item for Diana to give an update on these talks that she's having with the mayor and council. And then if you guys want to bring up, the issues or the concerns that Bruce has, and that I think Leon just said, great point in the chat box, but it's certainly something that I could put on the agenda as an update to Diana and Todd and John's meetings with the council members. But certainly that's up to you all.
Mike, you're in this for the committee's input too. That was exactly what I was thinking, because I had questions about exactly how they were proceeding and how that interrelates with what we're doing. But I wanted to make sure people generally understood that the council had decided to take the lead there. But I think Mike's suggestion of a update would be a great way to go. Do we have any other comments about that? I see Leanne's shaking her head. And so,
Mr. Chairman, this is Al Wyrick.
Stand up.
yeah,
I just wanted to put out information that Ward 4, Councilwoman Lee is having her virtual meeting on this topic that we're talking about on Thursday of this week at 5:30. And so they've already got a Ward 4 virtual meeting, and it's been put out to different neighborhoods and to people to call in and, provide her with a list.
From what I
So I just
understand,
thought I'd let you know.
from what I understand, Al, in my conversations with Todd Kessler this morning, is that she's the only council member that's actually going out to the public with this as well, with her little virtual town hall public meeting that's scheduled for this week. So,
Well, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to let the rest of the board know that in Ward 4 they're already starting to discuss this. So I mean, if we waited until have an update in 2 to 3 months, then we're Ward 4 is, and I don't know about the other council. The only thing I would say about having the meeting in June, I believe June is the end of our. Mike, please correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not the end of the fiscal year, and July begins the new one? So the council and a lot of the staff will be working at the last minute on, I would assume, on the budget, or so maybe we may have to not do one in June.
well, actually, the budget will go. The recommended budget will go before mayor and council, actually in May.
Okay.
So, and then the new fiscal year begins on July 1. And so, yeah, I mean, it's up to you all what you want to do when you want to meet, but if the 14 million is an item that you want to place on the agenda, I think that the next meeting should be sooner rather than later. But like I said, that's certainly up to you all to do. And if I may add, we are, the city is returning, at least DTM. We're starting to open up offices and people are returning to office. I don't want to call it a return to work because we've been working this past year. So it's a return to office. And we actually have a DTM staff that's returned to the office as of this week. And then also in May, the mayor and council is going to start having public mayor and council meetings as opposed to virtual. And then in June, I think we are going to open up a lot of our offices to the public and so forth. And I know that Diana, in a discussion today, talked about what we were going to do with our different commissions and different public meetings that we hold for our projects. And I think we've all learned quite a bit that we can be effective and efficient in a virtual Teams meeting setting, in the platform that we're currently using tonight. But I think that what I want to throw to you all is that as we start to return to the office and start to open up, and the mayor and council is now in May going to go back to public mayor and council meetings, you all maybe want to have a discussion as well as to do we want to continue to meet virtually, or should we go back to meeting at Parks and Rec on Randolph Way? So I want to throw that out there as well as you discuss the next meeting and how you want to do that meeting. And that's a decision upon that you all make when it comes to how you want to structure this meeting, because we'll do whatever you all want to do. And whether it's continuing on Teams virtually, whether it's meeting in person, whether it's a hybrid, we meet in person, and those who don't want to meet in person can do so virtually. So I think that we need to have that discussion as well as we decide on what the next, when the next meeting will be and where that next meeting will be, virtually or in person. Jesse, you've had your hand up for quite a while when Al was speaking, so I want to go ahead and turn it over to Jesse.
Go ahead. Jesse?
You're muted, Jesse.
Jesse, you're still muted. Are you there, Jesse? Well, let's let Jesse have a chance to get back, and I'll go ahead with Cindy because Cindy had a question too.
2 points here. One, July is not a very good time for us or for me to meet due to the fact that around the same time is our 35th wedding anniversary. So we're not going to be available. As far as meeting, my question here would be how many of us have been vaccinated already? And do we feel safe enough that we can go back to physically meeting?
I think those are good questions, Cindy, but we can't deal with those questions in this meeting because this is not an agendized item. So what we're talking about is agendizing it. And so I think we have to have one more meeting where we have that discussion, okay?
And let's meet in June.
Yeah, and so my recommendation is June 7th or June 14th, but I recommend that with one caveat. My wife and I are actively planning a trip for June to Yellowstone, and I may not be available for that meeting. I know our vice chair could handle the meeting probably better than myself, but as a practical matter, with that caveat, I'd recommend June 7th or June 14th. Is there any other suggestions?
Mr. Chairman, this is Al Wyrath.
Yes,
Due to some of the questions brought up about finding out what the wards are going to be doing with the extra funding, maybe what we need to do is have a special meeting of the road commission, and maybe we hold that in May, and we have a very limited agenda to find out from Diane or her group of what is going on and what kind of conversations she's had with the various wards, and then also to possibly talk about, do we want to just have virtual meetings or possibility of who all wants to have a regular meeting or not. I mean, I think we could just do that without going through a lot of the financial or going through any other projects. If we did that, something we probably could do it in a short period of time, I think, and then we could set up another meeting to where we have a call to the audience and updates and so forth like that. It's just an idea, but that way we get the one big agenda item or question on what is the wards doing with the extra funding. It's just an idea.
And that's something that we could do. We could hold a meeting that is pretty much looking at the agenda, call to order, approval of minutes, call the audience, and one item. So that's something we can do as well.
Actually, I think Al was suggesting two items. One was Diana's report, and two was the meeting discussion. And on the meeting discussion, from a technical standpoint, I had understood in Park Tucson that we couldn't go back to in-person meetings until the council approved that. Is that are we free to make this decision at this point? But I had understood we were waiting for the council to clear.
Well, if they're going back to public meetings, mayor and council meetings in May, I think that, and Diana basically said today that it's up to our different commissions on how they want to operate. But
that's sufficient for me, but I wanted that question out on the table.
Yeah, and so, I mean, once again, I think that right now, item 7 on the agenda is future meeting date and agenda, and that's what we'll discuss. And then I can also agendize Dale an item that would be real quick in future meetings, virtual or in person or hybrid. And Bruce has his hand up as well.
Yes, Bruce.
Thank you, Dale and Mike. I like Al's suggestion of a brief meeting in May to see if there's any possibility for us to contribute to the process that the mayor and council is considering for the supplemental monies. And so my suggestion would be that you, Dale, as chair, work with Mike and Diana to see if that could be scheduled, and then maybe get a poll out or get some dates set in May if that's a realistic opportunity for us to participate or help in the supplemental issue.
And if I could add, mayor and council in May meet on May 4th and May 18th.
Well, the selection of that date could abide the discussion that you, Dale, would have with Michael and with Diana. And then we could get Letitia to give us a set of options once that discussion is known as to how that might proceed.
Mike, this is Jesse Lugo.
Mike, do you want to contact and talk to Diana about it, or do you want me to?
I can talk to her. Jesse, did you get back on with your phone?
I'm on the phone now.
Okay.
You had your hand up earlier, Jesse, and we were calling on you, so my apologies for.
Not a
What
problem.
did you want to say, Jesse?
Yeah, just some general comments. I agree with what Bruce was saying, that here mayor and council actually passed a resolution to use $14 million out of general fund for neighborhood streets. And many of the past commissioners recall that 6 years ago, in fact, I wrote an email on behalf of the commission to use more general fund dollars so they can then use for neighborhood streets. And of course, it's been 6 years ago, but at least we're making some progress. But the issue on the meetings, I said, I prefer to have people-to-people meetings. If Bruce and Ian and the rest and
Jesse,
Mr. Chairman, it's more productive to have meetings with people. But if mayor and council have an issue about that meeting in public, Tucson Community Center is big enough so they can build their plexiglass cubicles to abide by CDC safety guidelines, and that needs to be done. I don't believe by having the virtual meetings is very productive, for the commissioners, but also the public in general.
Okay, Jesse, just so you understand, we did start to have some discussion on that, and I stopped discussion on it tonight because it's not an agendized item. So we can't talk about the substance of whether we want to have meetings or not have meetings tonight because it's not on the agenda. Keep your thoughts. I understand your thoughts, but keep them to be expressed at this special meeting we're talking about having.
But my closing comments to the current commissioners, the mayor and council wants to approve now neighborhood streets because, in my opinion, say political preference. Boy, what is this 101 bond commission exist now?
Jesse,
if they want to do that, they can take over the whole commission.
Jesse, just a second. I just explained we cannot discuss the issue. We cannot have this discussion. It is not on the agenda.
I understand.
I just
want to share my thoughts. So this way in the future, we're going to discuss this.
Okay. And there's no, we're not appropriate to share our thoughts at this point on that agenda item. And so I know I'm being kind of heavy-handed here, but we need to keep that in mind. So, and let's save that for the meeting. Mike, do you want, you'll talk to Diana, and I would suggest the 3rd and the 10th, possibly, if that would work for her.
Of May?
Then you can get back to me and we can just out of comment, does anybody have any problems with the 3rd or the 10th right now?
You're talking May, right, Dale?
Yes, I am talking about May.
All right.
I'm good on those days.
Okay.
This is Al. I'm good.
This is Liz. I'm good with the May as well.
This is Bruce. I have an issue with the 3rd, but I'm available on the 10th.
Okay. We'll take that into consideration.
I could meet on the 3rd, but I'm going to be in San Pedro, rural Arizona, and I'll probably have to find a place to connect, but I can probably do it if that's a necessary thing.
Okay.
You know, I need to check with Diana's schedule, and because her son is graduating from college, and I thought it was either I think it's May 6th. So she was going out of town, but let me get back to you all. I'll have Leticia send something out, but let me get with Diana. I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday, tomorrow and Wednesday. So let me get with Diana on Thursday when I get back to the office, and I'll get those dates that she's off.
Okay.
I may be able to look at her calendar right now.
Yep.
Leanne, you're muted.
Hi, sorry about that. Just a point of clarification, Mike, you had mentioned that the mayor and council met on the 3rd and what days did you say?
Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
It's the 4th and the 18th mayor and council meet.
Would it make sense for us then to meet on the 24th or the 31st of May so that we would have that feedback from them if they address this issue? I just want to make sure I understood, what we need to get and what we need to understand from the mayor and council.
Okay, I'm looking at Diana's calendar right now, and she is off the 29th of April through May 7th, that Friday. So she is back. She'll be back in the office on May 10th, but she has a do not schedule from 5 o'clock on, but we can work around that maybe. So the 3rd won't work.
Okay. 3rd won't work, Jesse's or Mike. So why don't we talk about the 10th?
Okay.
10th, if she can work around that, or the 17th, and you can get back to me. Okay.
Actually, Dale, on the 17th, Parks and Connections has their commission meeting.
So,
May 10th?
okay, then let's talk about the 10th and the 24th then.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Okay, and make sure Mike understands that it's just for the 2 issues, so.
That would be the $14 million update.
Yeah, $14 million update and the and our meeting. And she doesn't even need to stay for our meeting unless she has input that she wants to make. So
our meeting, you mean whether we go to virtual, hybrid, or in person? Okay.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Do we have any other comments for future agenda items or future meeting dates? Did I see? Nope, I see no hands. I think we're adjourned then. Let me have a motion to adjourn if we need one.
Motion to. I second
Ms.
it.
Zell, I'll second.
We're motioned and adjourned and done. We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Thank
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
for having
Good night,
patience.
everybody. Good to